go see. Somebody clean up their mess so swiftly. Where else are you gonna see some crazy bitch? On the internet. I'm kidding, that's a joke. That's one hell of a joke right there. Everybody's crazy now. They're not crazy because of the internet. They're not crazy because of the education system. It's an underlying reason every time. But don't ever scrutinize because it hurts too much. So many people identify a certain way. Also, they don't have to peer into their past. And that's so very sad to me. I wish I could save them, I wish I could save them, I wish I could save them, but I don't think that they want to save themselves. So many people would rather burn in hell than ask a question. Why do I do this? Why do I choose this? Why do I think that I don't have a choice and this is the only way that I can exercise my voice? Why? Well, I have the luxury of having a personality type that doesn't allow me to run away from anything that's inside of me. And all the drugs that I've done have just expanded upon this. And I don't encourage drug use, but if it helps, then it helps, then it helps. Well, my problem is, when they say help usually hurts, when they say usually hurts, it actually helps. And I probably didn't say that right, but it's alright. I don't have to say things right all the time. So many people are just grasping at straws. Grasping at straws. Grasping at straws. That's what they do with the system, the ever so unreliable system. That's what they do with politicians and people that say they're not politicians, but they act just like politicians. Donald Trump. Now, that's what they do with these podcasters and social media influencers. They don't have anything to hold on to because they don't read the Bible. That's why. When I started reading the Bible several years ago, I remember thinking to myself, why did it take me so long to do this? Because there's that kind of shit that I was so proud of myself. Oh yeah, I know this. Well, why am I so miserable then? Do I keep going right back to those things that make me feel so blue? But do I keep going right back to all the things that make me fail? So I make excuse after excuse after excuse after excuse for what I do or don't do. shake their heads at those of us that believe, because they just want to be angry. They just want to be angry. Luckily, it's God's grace. Luckily, it's God's grace. Luckily, it's God's grace to take the place of my pride. True. True, baby, it's true. Shit. Orange juice is spilling everywhere. I got a little too excited shaking that. Alright. 1 second. The cap was not screwed on all the way. You ever have that happen? Luckily, I'm a mess of a mess of a mess. If you haven't figured that out already, you gonna learn today. I used to have this manager say that. You gonna learn today. He was black. Imagine that. That voice. I'm sure that one of these days somebody's gonna get real offended by my black voice. I think I have a few black voices actually. Cause you know, I pick up on stuff. I'm a sponge. I'm a sponge. And when you're a sponge, there's a lot of stuff that you recognize about human behavior that most people don't, because they're not a sponge. So that's why I have to be very careful, like the things that I put in my head. I have to be very careful the people I surround myself with. That's why I try to isolate myself at work, because, you know, everybody's vaping and they're always high. You know, it is really making me nervous, these vape pens in relation to cannabis. Because, yeah, man, if people are hitting a vape pen like 75 times a day, and that vape pen contains cannabis, like, all these kids are going to have schizophrenia by the time they're 25. I would be surprised if it's not sooner. Because they're just not conscious of anything they're doing. This is like the most unconscious country in the world. Like, I know that I've talked highly of cannabis, get it, but the thing is though, like, I know what the plant does. Like, most of the people that use this plant don't know anything about it. I also don't try to pressure people to do it either, because that's fucked up. I will never try to pressure anybody to do something or not do something. Like, I know I talk a lot of smack about psychiatric medication, but the thing is, like, those are your medical decisions, you know? And yeah, like, medical decisions don't just impact the person that's using the medicine. Because if that person has an adverse reaction to it, that affects other people. So, you know, stupidity sheds. Complacency sheds. Not having resilience definitely sheds. Because the more people do something, the more popular it's going to be, because people are like, oh, what's the big deal? I wish we could get consciousness to trend, but that'll never fucking trend, because it's not fun, you know? I don't know how these people are having fun doing anything they're doing, but you know, they've convinced themselves that they are.